It seems Big Brother just isn't watching, he's also listening. Vodafone says several governments have been using secret wires, their words, to tap into its network. Let's get some background. Toby Shapshak joins us, regular contributor to our program. He edits Stuff magazine. So these secret wiretaps, how do they work?
Well, it's interesting, but it works differently per country. And of course, the first question I asked Vodacom representative today is, what does that mean for us? And that's actually, we're as far as we know, none of the reporting has been done about requests from South Africa, but it's quite a complicated legal process in South Africa to tap someone's phone. But really, just to take a step back, Jeremy, what's happened is Vodafone has come out and said that they have had numerous requests for access to our client records or to listen to people's calls, and it differs by country to country. And it's a bit like the big technology companies in the States. Google does it often, so does Microsoft. Apple started doing it, saying they've had this many number of government requests for information or access to their client records. And this is what Vodafone is saying. They've been pushed into certain positions in different countries where they've had to provide what the Guardian in London, which broke the story, is calling the kind of secret back doors. It differs by country, but it is generally very worrying.
Is it state espionage? Is it industrial espionage? Or are they simply eavesdropping on people who haven't paid their dry cleaning account?
Well, I hope it isn't us non-paying dry cleaners, because I would think it's probably more of not an industrial espionage, but just a way to snoop on your citizens. And it would be very worrying if it was an aggressive regime, or a regime known to not look after human rights, as often been called into question in Iran with MTN. They've also been smeared with this.
Toby, given the Snowden disclosures last year, should we be surprised when we hear something like this? I would say not.
Not, but we should be terrified. The extent of the government snooping made possible, according to the Edward Snowden documents, is truly terrifying, Jeremy.
Just in terms of the South African side, it's been played down by Vodacom in South Africa. It's been very clearly stated that it is against the law. But how do we know that it's not happening anyway? Why should we take what Vodacom is saying at face value?
Well, firstly, they're a listed entity, and they're listed internationally, so there's nothing any of their office bearers could do that would be to break the law. They would have to follow the letter of the law. Whether or not South Africa's own spy agencies, our own NSA, has access to this kind of thing, we don't know. Where did those Jacob Zuma calls come from? Where did were the conversations being had between various law enforcement officials on a cell phone or a landline? We don't know where those came from, and there is very often a thought amongst journalists that their phones are being tapped, or that they're being listened to, and that information of that nature that could only be discussed on a phone is getting out. So there are concerns in South Africa. We do know the legal process requires a properly constituted court action, as I've been said.
It's in 29 countries, so it's pervasive.
Yes.
The genie is out the bottle in this respect. It's not going to be easy to stop, if ever.
No, and it's a bit like now we know that everything Snowden's revealed about PRISM and the NSA, our sanctity is, there is no privacy. You might as well assume that if it's digital, people have got it.
Appreciate your time. Thank you very much. Toby Shapshak with us. He is the editor of Stuff magazine.
Know more. ENCA.com